Hi guys, my name is John Lord. I am your instructor for Accounting 101 this term. I wanted to give you this quick welcome video to help you to understand how the course is structured for this term. So as you can see from my screen here, I am in iLearn and I'm in our class. And you can see that the way I've set this up is I have some general announcements here. I have my office hour link, Mondays 3 to 5:30. And I'm going to change my role while you're here to student so that you can sort of see it from your perspective. Okay, and then you can see that I have the office hour. You click on that link. You may be placed in the waiting room if another student is in the office hour with me, so it's sort of like waiting out in the hallway to wait to come in, and then I'll admit you as soon as the student in front of you comes. Those are Mondays 3 to 5:30 p.m. Excuse me. We have a guest speaker assignment that I will show you actually right now. You can see the syllabus here, okay? And when I open up the syllabus, okay, give that a second to open. You can see some of the information for contacting me, etc. Obviously, our office hours by Zoom, since we're not back on campus yet. I'll talk more about the textbook here in a second. But then when you come over and you can read through some of the requirements that I'm going to go over in a minute, but you'll see that we have 100 points for the guest speaker write-up. So this semester, you can see that I have the slides, I have the guidance. It's a 3-page paper that you need to turn in. You'll turn it in right here. So when you click on this, it will allow you to submit your 3-page. Just do it in Word and go ahead and submit those 3 pages. And you can see the guidance in terms of fonts and whatnot. I'm not particularly strict on the fonts and that kind of stuff, but I do want you to, don't put big giant font to try to fill the 3 pages. Keep it reasonable, do the 3 pages, turn that in. There's specific things that I want you to respond to there. There are slides and there's the video. So you can get the slides, you can watch the video, make your notes on the slides, whatever, and then use that to write your paper. You can pretty much do that at any time, but it is due, and let me go ahead and open that up just so we're clear on the due date. It is due by December 18th, 11:59 p.m. Okay, that is at 11 o'clock at night, right? Almost 12 o'clock midnight. Okay, you do need to meet that deadline. That is beyond the completion date for the class. I'm giving you a little extra time. You have to meet that deadline. Forgetting to turn it in past that deadline, guys, is no excuse. Okay, you need to get that in. You've got the whole term here where you can get that together to send that in, so don't mess that up. Okay, all right, you can see where the syllabus is. Okay, but since we're in iLearn, let's go ahead and look at each of the chapters, and there are slides for each chapter. There's a lecture. For the first chapter, I only did part 2 with the lecture. Part 1 is some very basic stuff. You can just kind of glance at that. We're really not going to be tested on that material. But chapter 1, part 2 slides, yes. I've labeled it as quiz. That can be a little confusing. It's not actually a quiz, okay? It's just a practice midterm, okay? So let me open that. And when you take a look at, say, the chapter 1 quote-unquote quiz, it's really a practice midterm. I've given you the answers. So basically what I'm saying to you here is for the material that we've covered in chapter 1B, these are the nature of questions that you will see on your actual midterm. So I don't give any points for this. It's just simply something that's going to allow you to get ready for the actual midterm. And of course, you will be graded on that. Okay, so each chapter, I have these quizzes sitting here that will help get you ready for your midterm. Okay, now when you look back at the syllabus, Okay, and I'm gonna have to fight with this software. Sorry guys, the software I'm using to record is a little bit cumbersome these days. I got the new version and it's a little on the cumbersome side. You can see here that we have the going back up now. Okay, you can see the textbook. The textbook is optional. The textbook is optional. The textbook is optional. You do not have to acquire it, okay? Now, when you follow that link, what it is going to do is take you to where you'll have to enter your email in there, okay? You put your email in there, and then they're going to give you a temporary trial period. I suggest you take advantage of that temporary trial period. It's a 2-week trial period. Put in your email, take advantage of the 2-week trial period, and then if you actually like the material, then what they're going to do is say, okay, your trial period is over. Now please give us your credit card if you want to actually acquire that. So if you want to acquire it, then it's up to you. It's optional. It is optional. It's up to you. It's optional. I have many students that never acquire the textbook, never acquire the homework problems that are sitting there as extra batting practice, optional extra batting practice, sitting there in McGraw-Hill Connect. If you want that, it's there for you, but you don't have to have it. I have many students who never get that and do quite well in the class. So the textbook is optional. If you go back and you look one more time here at the syllabus, you can see that I don't give you points for homework, okay? You get points for the guest speaker write-up and the examinations, 3 of them 100 points each, okay? So 75% of your grade comes from the exam. So when I talk about homeworks, the optional assigned homework, you do not have to do that. When I talk about quizzes, those are those quizzes, those practice midterms that we will practice with each week, okay? The exams and the final are going to be given in iLearn. You will take those in iLearn. I will open the exam on the date of the exam at midnight on that opening day, and it'll close at 11:59 at the end of that week. Okay. Now, there are no makeup exams in this class. If you have to miss an exam for very serious reasons, death in your family, serious illness on your part, you will need to provide me documentation. You need to provide me documentation that this has occurred. Death certificate, note from your doctor saying you were seriously ill and hospitalized and could not take the exam during that week. Something of that nature that I will need. And sometimes I get students that want to try to water down the documentation. I decide what documentation is appropriate for this, okay? If you have a serious, unfortunate accident, bad event that has happened to you in your life and you have to miss one exam, what I will do is I will average the score on the other 2 exams. At no time should you take this to mean that this is giving you a pass for one of the exams. I am not. I will be very strict in the documentation I ask you for in this. And if you can't provide that documentation, you will get a 0 on that exam. I forgot to take the exam is not an excuse, okay? I have the exam dates here in bright red, sitting here on the syllabus. Print the syllabus, have it there in your calendar, put it on your table, pin it to your refrigerator so that you know when the exam dates are, okay? So it's very important that you take these exams when they are required, okay? If you cheat on the exam, and I will find out, you will get a 0 on this exam, okay? And the newfangled thing is to go out to this website called Chegg and try to get all the answers to all the exams ahead of time. I will bust you out on that and you will get a 0 on the exam. Look at the lectures, do your own work, use those practice exams. If you want to, get the textbook, get the, McGraw-Hill Connect materials in there for that optional stuff. If you want to do that, that's all fine, and then be ready for the exam on the day of the exam, okay? Now, you come over, don't cheat, do your own work. plagiarism, etc. Write your own paper. Don't ask your buddy to write the paper for you. Don't go out to some of these, I don't know what to call them, these illegal individuals who will contact you and say, I'll write the paper for you, and that they're going to blackmail you. I have had several situations where the student tries to get some consortium, some criminal, to write their paper for them, and then all that happens is the person tries to extort them for more and more and more money. Just sit there and do your own work. Okay? All right, now you can see that we have the week-by-week chapters. I give a week of midterm prep before each midterm, and then we have the midterm week. So this week would be 9/19. So the exam will open, and I just want to double check my calendar here to make sure that I am speaking the correct dates here. The exam will open on 9/12. That's a Sunday at, 9/19. Okay, 9/19. Okay, it'll open on 9/19, September 19th. It'll open at 12 a.m. Okay, that's 12 midnight. Okay, on that Sunday, and it'll stay open all the way until 11:59 on Saturday, the 11:59 p.m. on Saturday, the 25th. 11:59 p.m., guys, is 1 minute before midnight. Okay, now again, I get students for some reason want to wait all the way until that Saturday and try to get the exam, and they started at 11 o'clock or something. If you start at 11 p.m., you'll get 59 minutes to work that exam. Okay, so I give you a 3-hour window. So make sure you at least start the exam by 1 minute to 9, so you get the full 3 hours. But even that is a little silly of a game to play. If I'm giving you from Sunday to that Saturday, schedule a date. Latest I would be taking that exam would be noon on Saturday, 12 noon, while the sun's still up. On Saturday would be the latest I would go ahead and start that exam to make sure that you're able to exercise the full 3 hours. I give you 3 hours to work 30 multiple choice questions. The 30 multiple choice questions come right out of what we've been practicing with the practice midterms and with the discussion in class. Sometimes I put the practice midterm questions when I'm calling quiz in iLearn. Sometimes I embed those right in the slides. Okay, so you'll see them in the slides, but there's always a Word file there as well that you can look at that contains those questions. And sometimes what I tell students to do in order to prepare for the exam is just go ahead and, do one of these numbers. Let's see if I can figure out how to do it here without too much nonsense. Okay, but if the answer is highlighted like that, use that little paintbrush to go ahead. The answer will be highlighted, and just take that highlighting away. And I didn't quite get it the way I wanted to, but I wanted to also get rid of the highlighting on the A. Okay, but if you do that like that, okay, now this is how your exam is going to look, although it'll be in iLearn, but I'm not going to highlight the answers, of course, when you take the actual midterm. And this is a good way to practice. So the questions that you'll get will be very similar to these. Okay, so I'm giving you plenty of practice with these practice midterms. Every chapter's got about 15 questions that you can practice with there. And then when you get to the actual midterm, the actual questions will be very, very similar. Don't plan to cheat. Do not plan to cheat. Don't cheat, guys. Do not plan to cheat. You're going to be in for a rude awakening. Study the material. Be ready for the exam. I'm giving you 3 hours to work 30 multiple choice questions. That's pretty good, okay? And you should be in good shape to be able to answer those, okay? All right, good. Now I lost my iLearn, so let me go ahead and see if I can open that guy back up. Okay, without too much trouble here. Okay, and where are you? Right there. Okay, all right, good. So you see the guest speaker. You see that I have these practice midterms, even though I'm calling them quizzes. I know that gets a little confusing. They are just practice midterm questions, okay? And you saw how those are looking, and then you'll have the actual questions in the in your actual exam. They'll be very similar questions. Okay, so I want to go ahead and okay, sorry guys, I gotta figure out how to keep this taskbar for the video recording thing is just driving me nuts here. I don't know why they made that so that it's in the way all the time. But let's just go ahead and come back and switch my role back. Okay, return to my normal role because there's a couple more things I want to show you. Okay, now exams. I have not opened this yet. This is where your exam will be. On the day of the exam, you will just come in and you will click on your exam like this. Okay, and it'll look something like this. Okay, you'll take the exam right here in iLearn like this. Okay, and the questions are very, very similar to what it is that you are seeing in those practice midterms, what I'm calling quiz there. Okay, all right, good. Let's see if I can get back. Okay, that's where the exams will be. I haven't opened them up yet. The other thing, remember on the syllabus, we saw that we had a whole week to do midterm prep each time. Okay, so what I will do as we get closer to the exam dates is I will go ahead and I will open up this module. You can't see it yet, but we will have a full-blown practice midterm just before the actual midterm, during that week that I've set aside in the syllabus for you to go ahead and do your midterm prep, right in here. Okay, you will go ahead and you will be able to then look at the practice midterm, and there's one for midterm 1, midterm 2, and then of course the final. The final, by the way, is not comprehensive. Okay, as you can see from the syllabus, the final only covers chapters 10 and 13. And then, of course, the guest speaker write-up is going to be due on that 18th, on that last day class. Don't forget to turn that in. You should be able to do that in the next few days. Okay, there's no reason why you have to wait any longer than that. Okay, but the final is not comprehensive. It'll be like a third midterm, 3 hours, 30 multiple choice questions. Each midterm, I give you 3 hours to work 30 multiple choice questions. That's plenty of time for you to be able to work through those. Okay, I'm going to let you read through the rest of the information on the syllabus on your own. There is no curve in this class. It's a straight percentage. You do well on the guest speaker write-up. You do well on your midterms. You should be able to successfully complete the class. Okay, those are the main points I wanted to cover with you. Again, there are only points for the midterms, the guest speaker write-up. No points for homework, no points for quizzes. Those things that I'm labeling as quiz are really practice midterm to get you ready for the actual midterm. And again, if you want to acquire the book and look at some of that material in McGraw-Hill Connect, there's a 2-week trial period. You can take advantage of that now. And then if you decide not to acquire the book, fine. You don't have to acquire the book. You don't have to do those questions. I'm not giving points for those. I'm not reviewing those homework questions. Okay. Okay. That is the main things I wanted to cover with you guys. Good luck this term. Hopefully someday we'll all be back on campus, maybe soon. But if you need to reach out to me, you know where I am in my office hour, and you've got my contact information. Okay, guys. Thanks for your time.